So, according to a statement from Libya, as they stress the dangers of shutting down the country's oil fields and calls for punishment for those responsible.
Hey guys, I'm just kind of waiting right now. There's a really good trade from 620 down to this lower distribution. Now just trying to get back in over 70s. There's a lot of sell side absorption down into 50s to 30s. But still waiting to see if we can break back into this range. 70 is resistance here on NQ. Again, there is a buyer absorbing sell side at 550. So we're watching to see if we can hold above that level or if we're going to start to rotate further down. Russell leading to the upside with Q leading to the downside. So a bit of divergence there with KRE carrying the Russell up. So financials where NQ is getting kind of wrecked here. But again, very clear seller absorption down here into these lows, 30 and so as long as that's maintaining, there is potential for this to mark as a low, but we do need to see that push over 70s. If the Russell starts to lose momentum and the Russell and NQ is still below 570, that we right. Russell just entered back inside value right now. We are retesting previous day value low on RTY. We are looking to see if any can bounce, push over this 570, and if the Russell can find a buyer here at previous day value at 6. So just across the market, looking for bounces here. Seeing our 530 edge again. 550 holding so far as offer, just previous POC. Still bouncing off of our 30 low, 70s holding above. So just trapped in this distribution here. Not much to talk about. Watching to see if 50s can maintain his offer, or if 50s supportive. Again, I expect continuation on a push below this 30. Until then, it is where buyers are absorbing, and we are just rotating between 530 and 570 with our mid pivot, watching how we react into our previous 15 now. Risk off if you are playing off of that 50 edge, down into our 30s again. Again, need to see a push below this for continuation. Watching for our reoffer into 30s. Expect acceleration if we can hold below 30 now.
So we're seeing that the BLS had to put new safeguards in place to ensure equal data access following a technical glitch that delayed the release on August 21st. The Labour Department acknowledges the mishap in the release of the most recent jobs data.
Haven't added yet about it if Russell meets resistance. As long as this has momentum, market goes back. Don't really see anyone off sides here from the lows. Watching to see if we offer below again. Still rejecting POC from candle before. No shift. So again, just looking to see Russell start to lose again. Uh, Russell, or sorry, NQ is just like very stuck here until we see a buyer push above. Thirty seconds to new 15s. So far, still holding our resistance above. Sellers are absorbing everything above us. Buyers are absorbing everything below in this 525, 530. Sellers are absorbing into 550, 570. Need to see a break and hold below one of these for directional um, vision. 15s have opened. Russell looks the best here by far for long side. Want to see it continue to hold over like 0580. Reach this high here. That looks the best on the 50. Sure.
So looking now to the fear and greed index, 55 out of 100 indicating neutral, while the crypto fear and greed index is 30 out of 100 indicating fear. Keeping an eye on the VIX as well, which is up just 1.1% at around 15.6 points. So in 10 minutes time now at the bottom of the hour, we see the release of the weekly EIA crude oil inventories. Forecast is a draw of 2.775 million on the prior draw of 4.649 million, with a range seeing a draw of 2.55 million to a draw of 3.377 million expected. Gasoline inventories forecast is a draw of 2.15 million on the prior draw of 1.606 million. Distillate inventories forecast a draw of 0.815 million on the prior draw of 3.312 million, and crude Cushing inventories the prior saw a draw of 0.56 million. So just keep in mind, last night the US API crude oil stock change came in at a draw deeper than expected at 3.4 million on expectations of a draw of 3 million.
Need buyers to hold this edge here, this retest, if we're going to keep going higher, or we're just going to rotate back through the range and fail the bid this high. So just really pay attention to this like 56 to 60 area, see if buyers can hold. Or yes, we need over 45. Still, this looks like drop. Attempting to push back through our range, watching to see if our offer can now hold this 56, 60 area for the rotation back down. This is really important that buyers are able to maintain this, or again, like sellers are just going to continue to absorb here.
Libya oil output said to drop further to 450,000 barrels per day. Libya wants the Waha oil output said to drop to 175,000 barrels per day from 320,000 barrels per day. In 5 minutes' time now, at the bottom of the hour, see the release of the weekly EIA crude oil inventories. Forecast is a draw of 2.775 million on the prior draw of 4.649 million, with the range seeing draws of 2.55 to 3.377 million expected. Gasoline inventories forecast is a draw of 2.15 million on the prior draw of 1.606 million. Distillate inventories forecast a draw of 0.815 million on the prior draw of 3.312 million. And crude Cushing inventories the prior seeing a draw of 0.56 million. Keep in mind for crude oil, the API crude oil stock change last night came in at a draw of 3.4 million, deeper than the expected draw of 3 million.
Guys now heavily offsides on this prop. Should be able to rotate back up to our 15-minute VWAP here, 605, 610-ish. No change for ES, still just stuck here. Need over 41.25 for anything higher. Just this 35 value low to our value high here. Even
1 minute remaining. I'll be leading with the EIA crude oil inventories.
40 seconds until the ends.
Ten seconds. Draw 0.846 million, draw 0.846 million, higher than the expected draw of 2.775 million. Gasoline inventories, a draw of 2.203 million, draw of 2.203 million, which is higher than the expected draw of 2.15 million. Distillate inventories, a build of 0.275 million, a build of 0.275 million, higher than the expected draw of 0.815 million. Crude Cushing inventories, a draw of 0.668 million, a draw of 0.668 million. So US and Brent crude futures extend losses slightly after the EIA data showed the lower than expected weekly inventory draw. And we have posted out the weekly EIA inventories report on the feed for anybody interested.
Yeah. Do you want? Need to get over 90s. Watch 64 to 53 for buyers. Seller at 90. That's our current range. 64 to 53 is where you want to see buyers bid. If we don't see them here, then we're just going to rotate back down through. We're now watching this as offer. If we push below, easy. I mean, there's very clear sellers trapped at 90, but like, or sorry, buyers trapped at 90, but no, I wouldn't call it easy. There's just nothing here. There's only like two areas where there's like actual participation. It's here at this 50, and at 90, and then we get momentum continuation under 530. Just choppy garbage, but like, there's zero willingness to push right now. There's only a buyer that I see. It's just it's a 50 level. I really tend to not try to trade price action like this. Just gotta wait for someone to be caught off sides, break us out of balance. If you can't do that, then you just need to stop trading. I don't know why we're expecting big moves with Nvidia after hours. Delete, everything. I'm gonna just show you. See. 100. Oh, for like a neutral candle? So it's only showing things that are over 100. Everything else is considered. It's fine. I mean, it's kind of annoying the way that it's displaying that. The one on Tradeovate that I have set up is we have a filter for 120, but it just makes the bar gray unless it's above or below that. Above 120.
Target filled.
That was so loud. That scared the crap out of me. Guessing that's Tom's bot. So buyers now like very offsides. Offer attempted to to move lower. We hit into it and then rejected and push down. Just move stops down if you're in a runner. Again, there's not a lot here. New 15. See if we get any continuation. I don't see anything until we retest 550. This is just acceleration down, just like we talked about below 30. It's just acceleration below 30. As soon as that buyer is not willing to absorb here, it just goes. I don't have anything down till 470 if we can't get back over 500 here.
The S&P 500 and Nasdaq extend losses. S&P down spot 2%, Nasdaq spot 7%.
Kind of just expecting us to take out those equal highs. Um, I can show this. I'm expecting us to just take out these equal highs here on ES and then kind of catch a bid. That'd be my assumption. We're going to continue to just kind of chop. So take out these equal highs on ES, kind of come down into this, and then just bid again. That's my assumption I'm under right now. That may have been enough. I don't know. I think maybe one more leg. Our 500 rejection, we've now pushed into our 470. Move your stops down. We are now into our ADR on NQ. Taking out the equal highs on,
Freeport
equal
LNG shuts the
lows on
facility after a fire safety
ES.
system tripped.
Just move stops down. If we reject 70s, expect to move down to 40s. If we can make 70 supportive, then we'll just chop here back up to like 90.
UBS cuts China's 2024 GDP growth forecast to 4.6% from 4.9%.
I'm flat. Again, like I think there's a high likelihood that yes tries to find a bid here. As we took out those equal lows on yes. Gonna give it a minute. Really nice push on ES off of the take of those equal lows. Now it's just trying to get back above the seller and this ETH flow. Um, Not a ton here yet. Again, just waiting to see if this like actually bottoms, but I think that there's decent potential here for a pop. If we can now hold back above on ES. Let's see. I'm still just waiting for the right side of the V. We got a nice little bounce off of those lows being taken, but no continuation. So I am still flat, just waiting. Russell back down to bottom of range. See if we get another oscillation. This is a pretty thin sell. I don't really have interest yet. I think the shorts from above were nice, but now it's just a little too thin for trade. Watching to see if the Russell just does another one of these, or if we get a shift down to value low. That felt like a candle switch sell, not gonna lie. I don't know that. I just need to see someone off sides and a higher low. Until then, it's just continuation. Should be pretty telling what happens here on Russell. Let us know if we're getting another leg down or not. If we can't get back over this 2206, then we expect one more leg down with Russell following NQ. Right, both leading down, so there's just no reason to go up. If we can recover 2206 and get back into this range, then the Russell can start to push back up and do the full rotation back up to 11s. Watching for this reaction here. Again, like for longs, you need to be on the right side of the V, buying your knife catching a channel down. Testing our 40s here. LVN above that. Should act as a pivot. Same thing with Russell here. Can we build and get back into this rotation above? Or does this hold as a resistance for that one leg down into 202.80? Forties test here on NQ. Watching to see if the Russell can now hold. Let's push back into our range. If it can, then we expect a rotation back up to 10.5, 11 area. NQ, if it can hold 40s, should just move up to 60s to fill LVN if the Russell can hold as well. Gonna retest these. We need to see if someone's actually trapped off sides. You've got someone potentially trapped at 15s on NQ, but there's not a ton here in between 415 and 480. There's just not. Watching this Russell retest now. On my ES chart. Oh, I don't see any. This is POC. It hasn't shifted at 38s. I didn't. How would a developing POC hide if I turned off my drawings? Developing POC is an indicator, so it's at 38s. It's the orange line. Watching our 2206 on Russell here, see if that bid can hold previous day value. Four 15 seller is no longer offsides. Okay, this is gonna be very simple. Until we see a break of the downtrend, we are going down. Do not look for longs until we can be on the right side of the V. You need to see a reclaim of a buyer, a seller being offsides into the lows, and bids willing to step in, or we will continue down. I need you guys to not go low longs until we see that happen. That's the only read that you need. There is clearly a seller in the market who is pushing price down. I exited my short because I was looking for a long on the hopes that we took out the equal lows on ES and then bid, but I did not buy a long. You have to wait for someone to show up or you're trading with a ghost. Your one lot does not move the market. We need to see a buyer step in, and we need to see a reclaim of an area that we care about. Until then, there is one person who is in control, and it's the seller. So you look for reoffers, and then you play it down. If you really need to play this price action, if you're desperate, if you're going to die if you don't play this price action, the only choice is to play down. If you can control yourself, then you just wait. But if you're really that desperate, then you play with trend. Trend is down. We're into our second target on Russell into value low. Until this finds a low and actually is able to bid, we're going to have a market that is in confluence that is pushing down together. Every time the Russell is able to get a bounce and start to show willingness to bid, that's when we have a potential for a long. Because you're going to have trapped traders that are trapped sellers who are looking for continuation down, but we don't have the Russell movement to support more downside. So then they basically are just playing trend down and are getting caught because we get our bounce on RTY, right? So that we don't have a market where all three are pulling in one direction, and that can put people off sides. That's your first areas where you start to be like, oh, okay, this is potentially something. But if the Russell continues to fail and continues to push down, then we have a market that's fully in one direction, and so we expect that push to continue to happen, right? We have nothing to start to create any sort of indecision, right? Like the decision is clear, it's downside. So until we find that Russell low, we have to just be patient. As soon as we start to get these little micro bounces and someone gets trapped at the lows, right? Like that's when we can start to take opportunities. But until then, like you just gotta chill. Am I a degen for trading right now? I mean, are you making money? Are you in a short? You're shorting a selling market that's in trend. I don't think you're a degen. You're looking for a knife catch low before a confirmation that you're a degen. Is ES into ADR? All right, let's see if ES ADR is able to hold, and we actually are able to start building, or if this is going to continue to just sell down. You need to see someone caught off sides, but like again, unless something like is crazy is happening, I expect ADR to kind of hold. I need to see that actually be true, right? I need to see buyers step in, but this is where I start to think that shorts are a little too aggressive. So if you are in a short, I would say just move your stops down and let that play out. But this is where I start to think that these guys get a little overzealous and that we need to come back up a bit. So I start looking for the opposite. See if we take out ETH low on Russell and then find a bid. Again, like Russell needs to find a low for this to actually have any sort of play potential. But if ES ADR goes resistance on a look below and like the 605 holds as resistance on this retest, then we are in some trouble. But like if bids step in and start to hold this LVN, then we can look patience back up. But we're watching for a buyer to show their hand above this seller because we know that the next seller is up here. That gives a rotation through this LVN. If they want to continue this down and just continue the trend, right, like then we do this. That's fine. But this is where I start to be like, oh, okay, there's potential here. Structural fills. My first signs of a trigger will be like the Russell recovering our ETH low. That continues to sell off and NQ isn't seeing any higher lows, then I won't touch anything. Need to see NQ and RTY start to find that low and see someone trapped. But as soon as we do, then we can start to look for those kind of rotations back up to previous sellers. Something that I should remind you guys is like the ideal trade is going to last more than one 15-minute candle. And so if you're not willing to wait for that one 15-minute candle to set up and kind of show that low first, then there's probably not a real good reason for you to be taking the trade in the first place, right? Like it's something that you might want to remind yourself of. Like we haven't established a low yet on the 15, and so you don't need to take it. Because when we actually start to break this downtrend, we will start to hold previous 15-minute candles, right, POCs. And we will have the start of an uptrend, and then we will be able to play that back up, and it'll be great. But until then, like, understand that we are still just building out this candle, and we have 7 minutes left. So if you understand that, like, this is a multi-trend candles down, right? So we can play the same thing on the way back up when it happens. I mean, Russell is now in a 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 candles down on the 15. Do you think that that just doesn't exist on the way back up, or what? Right? Like, just be patient. We don't have to be in from the first candle. We can wait for the retest and then just play the trend reversal. Rotate back up, and then we do something like this, and then we start to do an uptrend where we're holding previous 15 minutes POCs as supportive. We'll have plenty of opportunity to get back into this once an uptrend starts to form. There's no reason for you to feel like you need to put your life savings in a consolidation chop on a downtrend candle before we retest and show an active buyer willing to participate, right? It's something that you might just need to remind yourself if you're like stressing out. Oh, I missed the move. No, you missed a move, but there will be plenty of others that meet your criteria without you feeling like you YOLO your account. Hopefully, I just helped someone there. So for like this that I've pathed out, for example, like what are we looking for here? Well, we're looking for a long on the hold and recover of these sellers from a look above, right? So it's like, oh, there's potential here because it's our ADR low, but we still want to see us then take out these sellers and a bid step in for this rotation back up. So like, is this the longing opportunity? No, we're waiting for a secondary move to show that there's a willing participant here who wants to push price up and then hold us, and then we look for the gap fill and the push back up to our value edge, right? Like, can you continue to try to take uh attempts here at this low and get stopped out over and over again? Yeah, you can try, and maybe you'll be right on the attempt that you do. But like, there's no reason not to just wait for a structural test on this edge and then just
Nvidia
rotate
shares
up.
currently down 3.8% as losses get extended here.
2 minutes 30 seconds left until new 15s.
And North Sea, Hohan, Svedrup loadings at a full 732,000 barrels per day in October.
New 15s have opened. We're now watching to see if buyers are willing to defend this box here, basically. This is where we want to see buyers reacting if we're going to hold our previous 15-minute yellow box. Understand that we have selling deltas above us. I have labeled as this red box. We're looking to see if buyers can find a bid here on this edge and push us over something like this rotation wise. If this goes resistance, then there's really not much here yet. Right? If we do an offer into this POC and then fade down, watch for a bounce, offer like this, and then down there. For RTY, still rejecting our ETA flow. See if bids are able to maintain here. Russell new low. Keep that in mind. Into our buy zone now in NQ. If bids don't see, if we don't see strength here, then I don't touch it. Not worth. If bids can hold. So your first risk off, if you are trading off of that level, just into our previous offer. Don't add to the position until you can get over 390.40. But nice bid off of POC so far at 62s. Got one more here as we push it into 90. One left, stop at 361. Do you see how we can just do that? It's a very simple level. So much easier to actually have a better trade. Like imagine waiting through this chop instead of just buying the pullback into the POC and then just playing it back up. Like why? Just be patient. We're gonna reverse. You'll have time. I promise. And you're up $600 to $750 here just by buying a 8-point range on a retest. Like what do you what's wrong with that? I mean, sure, but like again, like all you need to do, like I've given you a 7.5 point range to look for longs, right? So you're just looking for the pullback into this. Your invalidation has to be below this level. So you either put your stop at 61s, right? Or you put it down at the 50s, depending on what your risk is. But you're looking for buys here. Your first target is this into our seller. Your secondary target is this. Right? So even if you wanted to go down to our 50s, that you still have a 2-to-1. This is a 5-to-1. And this is what my risk profile looked. Stop below 61. That's a 7-to-1. Like, if that's not something that you're willing to take, I don't know what to. And again, there will be more opportunities if we get continuation. Like we just are gonna wait till the new 15 and then see if trend forms for a rotation back up, you know? But like let's look back on what just happened. Was the Russell able to find a bid into our low? Was NQ able to hold the higher low and recover and show our first signs of life with us holding above POC? Was ES able to hold its low? So we have a market in sync going up, and we have all of our pivots holding where they need to, and a potential shift happening with price holding above POC for the first time, right? So you have a lot more on your side now when you're attempting something like this compared to before. So just waiting for these things to kind of line up is just going to give you such a better edge. 4 minutes and 30 seconds until new 15s. Want you to see if Russell can hold our ETH low now as supportive, something like this. We were going to continue higher. We want to see this range high hold as supportive across the board. If this is going to fail, then we might need to wait for a rotation through this range again before we go. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left. NQs was definitely cleaner than ES. Yeah, well, ES is still just chopping in this range, right? Like there was no break of structure, unlike on NQ and Russell. What we have pathed out here on ES is what happened on NQ, right? Same thing. 1 minute until new 15s. Just in no man's land here in NQ. New 15s have opened. Holding POC from previous candle into our zone, following our secondary path. Russell held our ETH low. Need to see a break of our high for continuation potential, but things are holding where they need to so far.
Target filled.
That's actually a good risk off from Tom Spot, 420 to 433. This is our value edge here at 420. 433 is the POC above. It's my target. Great first risk off or secondary risk off, depending.
Target filled.
Just move your stops up on your runner, right? But welcome to buying the right side of the V. Crazy. I cannot stress enough. Like, I really, really cannot stress enough how just being patient and waiting for that shift on footprint is all you need to do. I cannot stress it enough. There's no need to panic. An 8-point risk has now given us almost 70 points. You see how I didn't touch any of this bottom and we waited for the pullback into this and then we played it up and I added into our flagging and then we played it up. I'm not doing anything that I'm not telling you. Like, this is what I have drawn and what I say is what I do. I've just made all the stupid mistakes already. So, like, if I can help convince you to not make them as well, doing well. What's the meaning of the yellow box on NQ? So this is the POC from the 15-minute candle on footprint. So this is where those deltas were trading. And the yellow box is from the POC to the value high of this footprint area. This is our value low here at 52s. This is the POC here at 62. And 70 is the value high of this 15. So what we're seeing here, Molina, is the shift of POC from in a selling trend where we're holding below it, to a potential low setting up. And then on the next candle, we come back into this POC from a hold above, bid it, and then continue onward. So in trend, we are looking for that POC to hold as supportive for continuation higher. You can see that when we have the start of a trend, POC holds as supportive, POC holds as supportive from a look above, and we get uptrend, right? So waiting for that to happen gives you the best opportunity to not be in a trade and a knife catch too soon, right? Because what are we trying to do? We're trying to play with active buyers who are actually participating and have shown a willingness to buy a higher low, right? Because until then, it's just chop. We don't know if this is going to consolidate and then go lower. We have no clue. What we need to see is a break of the structure, a willingness to now hold where these sellers were very active before, and then buyers initiating, right, for higher prices. And so when we can find these levels on footprint like this very easily, of like, oh, shoot, like there's very clearly buyers here, like that's where we want to actually start to look for our long trade. So that's all it is. And then it's just a rotation back up to our value, right? Just retracing the sell-off. So there's no need to panic. You don't need to be on both sides of the trade. All we have to do is be patient, wait for this setup to occur, and play it back up. No big deal. There's always another trade. This is a trade that, this is a setup that we've gone over multiple Monday classes. And something that I look for quite a bit, especially if I don't capture a full rotation down, and then it's just me being patient, waiting for us to actually start to show a willingness to trade back up. Yeah, you can have your own personal account, Clubhouse. Tradeovate is just it's just a platform, right? So you can either put money into the platform itself, or you can use one of the prop firms that use them as well, the platform, and get an account through them. But you can put your own money in. You don't have to trade a prop firm. I highly recommend that you do try a prop firm before you put your own money in, just because the risk is so much smaller with prop. And it's a really good understanding if you're going to be able to make money if you can pass an eval. So if you pass an eval, no problem. I think it's a great sign that putting money in isn't that big of an issue. But if you can't pass an eval, you should not be putting your own personal money into an account. You're not ready, and you don't want to blow up. It's better to fail a couple of evals while you learn how to trade futures, and that's like a $50 to $100 paper cut, instead of blowing up your account and ruining your life with your own money. But once you get confident, right, you pass your eval account on the prop firm, you take a couple payouts, you take that payout money, and then you put it into your personal account, and now you don't have to share with a prop firm, right? So you use the prop firms to help grow your own personal account and get out of their grips. But it's a pretty good split. A lot of them are like 90% to you. So it makes sense for a lot of traders to just stick with prop firms because the risk to reward is so good. Even if you blow up your account, on a monthly basis, you usually get like 2 or 3 payouts before you blow up, and that pays for your new eval plus you have made profit. So even if you have some bad days, you don't ruin your life. You still are up, which is why we talk about them so much, because it's usually the better option out of smaller accounts. We hit 33, which was target, just back to POC. I could see us chopping here for a bit before we get continuation. Something to look for here, guys, is can we get back into our value? right? And hold our value edge now as supportive. This is the most bullish response from NQ if we were going to continue, is holding our value edge here and starting to rotate back up to POC. POC is way up at 550. So that would leave a lot of room to start to rotate all the way through this. I can see us not holding here immediately and having to basically just rotate this range for a while on the Russell and having to come back down into this. But understand that if we hold this value edge on NQ, it is incredibly bullish, especially if we can then hold 33s and continue on. So just keeping that in mind that we really want to see these value edges on ES, NQ, and Russell get back into them and start to bid and push off of them. If that doesn't happen, understand that just balancing here makes sense. We've fully retraced this huge sell candle down, so just kind of chopping here could be what needs to happen before we can continue higher. I am flat. Is there a monthly fee for Apex? I'm not familiar. Someone in here might know. That is club. That's basically what we all did as well. We were just so sick of everyone only getting for lack of a better term, cucked by PDT on smaller accounts. We were mostly options traders as well, and we shifted over to futures about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, and now basically fully do futures. We still have an option side of the business, but we switched over because there's no PDT with futures, so you can trade very micro rotations, or hold for longer if you want. And the leverage is just as good as with options. And with prop firms funding you, it is just a overall way safer alternative to options. So that's why we switched over. It just made a lot more sense for retail. Your next POC is at 488. I have 55s next. That's not a POC. That's just our break of structure pass. So this is where this this buyer got trapped, right? And then we saw a acceleration below. So I am just watching this as our edge as we rotate into this, because I don't know what's going to happen here. So this whole area, I'm just watching to see how sell side reacts if we do up into this. If we can build above it, I fully expect us to rotate up to your 80. But again, I think it's just choppy here while we try to find acceptance back into value. If Russell starts to not hold our ETH low here and do this rotation like we've been seeing, it's our first signs of weakness, and we really need N to carry the weight, right? So if Russell continues down, we have room down into this 195. So we really want to see bids step back in and get us back over ETH low, or we have a mixed market again. Mixed markets are not just fun. But we went right to PT from our original hold. So for me, this move is kind of over for right now until I see someone else step back in. Yeah, I think most people in here are using Top Step or Trade Day, but I could be wrong. Those are the ones that I usually recommend. It's because they have the least nonsensical rules and the best payout schemes. But there's so many prop firms to choose from. It really just depends. The things you want to be looking for with prop firms is, do they have a trailing drawdown, a daily drawdown? What's their payout model, right? Like, can you only take out $2,000 for the first 30 days or some bullshit like that? Can you, do you have to, how long do you have to be profitable after you flip your account before you can actually take payouts? Do they have any nonsensical rules where you like can't add a contract um averaging down, right? uh do they have rules that are clearly there just to blow up your account or make you refuse a payout, or like have a grounds to refuse to pay you out? Like stuff like that is really fishy to me, and I don't recommend any platform that has rules that are trying to prevent you from winning. So if they have rules like that, those are things that are red flags for me. But you want to just find something that has like a decent payout model and doesn't have nonsensical rules just to make you fail. You have to remember that most of these prop firms are not making money from people actually getting real payouts. They're making money by you failing, right? So you want to be using a prop firm that has the least amount of gotchas, right? So that you can use the system that we teach, make money, take money out, and continue on with your life and not have to worry about that garbage. Yeah, I think it's probably the easiest way to get a understanding of footprint. But I've got three more granular footprints on another monitor, but I use the 15 primarily just to show those broader trend shifts. I think that they have some of the best risk to reward for taking trades that last, an hour or so, 20, 30 minutes, and get some nice moves and then look for like full rotations. But like most of my charts are in like a 15 or 30 second for the actual price action for execution. So there's lots of scalp potential by looking to see offsided buyers up in the highs or offsided sellers down in the lows, and then looking for actual areas to execute once we've found someone who's offsides, right? Which is what I usually use for the POC of those that previous candle. So usually my initiation system is like finding someone who's offsides either at the high or the low, looking for a pullback level of previous value via footprint, and then looking to execute on a secondary move, not the first move. Is there a link to sign up? I think that Tom has all of the links. If you look in the pinned channel, the pins, there should be some ideas as well. I believe that these are valid. Yeah, there you go. I fully expect us to just chop until Russell finds a low, by the way. It's like I talked about before. This divergence is never good for continuation. So if Russell wants to make a new low, you need to be very careful. I'm watching this here is our pullback level. It's like 96 to 90 area. Yeah, spec down to bottom of range. And Q just filling this LVN. Russell back down to bottom of range as well. Needs to get back over ETH low before we really get any more continuation. There's been so much volume transacted at that 19,400 on NQ. So I expect a pretty decent reaction there. We have sellers attempting now at 415, try to really hammer this price down. So they're either going to fail here, right, and the absorption is going to be able to hold, and then we get back over value, or expect this 15 to hold for our rotation down to like that 396, 3. Right now, just a bit two-sided. Again, I'm flat, just waiting for this to figure out what it wants to do. This area gets a little concerning for me. Like, we need to see really strong bids step in here, or I think we just rotate all the way back down to like 68. So this needs to show like a pretty extraordinary bid off of this 400 to 90, in my opinion. Or again, like just rotation back down to our yellow box. We need to see a willingness to hold a higher low, the overall move. Russell new low, keep that in mind. Need to see a really strong lift here at 90s, or again, I just expect this to rotate back down to that 68 area. Incredibly important that we find a bid here that actually is willing to hold. $400 reoffer. This is where that seller is sitting from before. See if we are able to push back above it, or if this holds. Expect the seller to be sitting here at this 405, 410. Need to see a pretty strong willingness to bid. I'd like to see RTY back over 195.6 just for safe measure. Good dip so far into our buyer. Nice bid, but again, need to see a willingness to break this downtrend. Just to give a bit of a visual aid for you guys, let me just put a regression channel on this so you can see what I'm talking about. Right, we still need to get back over value for this to have any like real merit. Like, got our bid where we needed. Now we need to see a secondary leg like this, taking out this seller. If we get this, we should be able to go up. That'd be my guess. And this is where I'll look to execute on a look back above value. This buyer still being here. I think if we lose this guy on an offer, we're going back down to our yellow. So I want to see that secondary look above this seller and the willingness to bid. That should give us the ability to make a new high. Breaking this guy here. So as we push into this value edge, it has to be your first risk off if you played off of the 90-96 area. Has to be. We have to be able to get back over value and show that bid for anything more, or you need to expect the offer to be sitting here, which is why I have highlighted as a red area. Even do something like this so that it's even. Need to see that look above. This has to be your first risk off into 17s. No confirmation of a break of a downtrend yet. All we've done is rotate from seller value to buyer value. Now back up to seller value, right? So we're just looking at where are we in relationship to our POC from the previous candle. We're below it, right? So it can be the beginning of that downtrend. We're unable to get back above, which is why this area is so important. Almost at target here off that rejection of 90s. Out 2 here, playing that risk down, just that push down. Watching to see if the bid is going to hold. I just actually flattened there. Just played this as our short leg. Watching to see if buyers are going to be able to step in here. Back to our yellow box. Not sure if we hold on this attempt, but so far there is a little liquidity. Still waiting on the Russell to figure his shit out. Out 1 here from the long into 90s. 1 left. 73 average. Just gonna set it at break even. Good chance I get stopped out here. Again, into our 90 edge. It's a great first risk off if you are playing off that 62 to 70 area. It's 20 points. No one's been mad at 20 points. I don't see any long continuation potential until we can make 400 supportive again. Just expect the offer to be sitting here. Understand this is the same area where we took our first long at this low. It's just this 62 to 70. If this fails, then the potential for us to rotate down another 30 points is pretty high. Right? Below 30s, we start to run into a pretty aggressive sell side. But as long as this 62 to 70 is holding, you have points of risk here. I like those odds. What's up, Sauce? Again, 400 is a hefty level. A ridiculous amount of volume has been transacted there. So need to see a willingness to really start to bid above that, where that will be resistance. What's up, Julian? Excuse me. I'm gonna delete this now that it's fully played. Again, for secondary moves, need to see this push over 20s and then a takeout of these highs. Till then, we're just in between our two pivots. I have one contract left, 73 average. I'm gonna set my stop below 9 at this 89. I'm fine taking 20 points if we don't want to go higher. It's fine. New 15's opening now. Exactly, sir. It's weird how that works, huh? I might get stopped out here. That'd be annoying. Oh my god, we're so close. Not moving it. It is what it is. Yeah, it stopped here at 89. We can go up now that I've been stopped. I won't take another play until we recover that 2023 area. Actually, just immediate bid. You hate to see it. Regardless, yeah, I'm gonna make this full screen. Oh, image is too large. Okay. Really? Large? Into our target here. This is that 20 level that I was just talking about. If we can build above, then I'll look for another long. This is target. See if this is too large. Alright, there we go. Do we see how this is that area? Like I just executed in the same place twice. It's that yellow box on both sides. Just longs, risking off. and then risking off again. I got stopped out here at 89s, of course, right here. And then we rotated up to our next area. But to me, like, this is the only area where I've wanted to execute, and I've now executed it twice. If we can now build above this seller, looks really great for continuation higher. So we'll see if we can do that now. But that's it for me. Don't know if I'm going to stay for the full session, guys. We had a pretty good morning, just being patient and then taking a couple good trades. See if this bid can hold here. We need to break these highs. If you didn't get stopped out, this is a great, again, this is a great area to risk off into. We'll see if we can now build here above this seller. If we can, awesome, right? Continuation. Gonna delete all of this now. See if we can hold our value edge. What was the recent setup? Just playing off of this shift in footprint, Julian. So seeing POC holding as supportive, we played the retest here and then rotated back up. And then this is our pullback area value. And then just played this again and rotated back up. And now we're seeing active buyers trying to step in here on footprint again. And just looking to see if we get a shift. Watching our value hold here on NQ. Want to see Russell be able to hold these higher lows. We want confluence in the market, boys. It is important that everything on an upswing. Buying deltas here. No, it's just a waiting game. Can we hold these or not? Can Russell and ES continue or no? Minute 40 until new 15s. Still just holding this 33 offer. I've risked off 2 here from our hold of our green box where I said I would add. Need to see that look and bid above, or things are just going to chop here until new 15s would be my guess. My average here is 2060, so just going to see what happens. We still have these buying deltas below us. I just expect chop until we can hold above 30s. Russell is at our pivot as well. This trade might just be break even. We'll see. Depends how long we sit here. If they want to just like chop up premiums. One left. Looking for 55s on this new 15. Might need to pull back down to our POC first, so that's why I risked off one, just in case. POC is back
Fed
at
bids for
20, so
5-year
it's just my
notes
break
totaling
even.
$5.6 billion.
Might as well take 15 points while I can. Really great sign with Russell being able to break that high. POC on NQ just shifted down to this pivot from 80s, 88s, basically 84, 88 on NQ down to this 420 area. We'll see if there's a broader shift that happens because of that. As long as we're being able to like maintain this area now, I fully expect us to have to go up to that 80 just for the POC shift with buy side now being here. So really just watching to see if we can now like hold this and then do something like that, which would bring us up into this area here as target. I mean, we'll see what happens. Yeah, it could just reject, you know. But that's what I'm now looking for with the POC shift. If we can bid here. Things I'm worried about is this ETH low on Russell. This has been our resistance again. So as we approach into this, do we lose momentum on the Russell? Does that cause and have some weakness? Or can we actually build above it now and start to the larger rotation? Kind of where I'm at. I've taken off 4. I have 1 left. My stop is below 11. Is at 11. So we'll see what happens. But this trade is profitable already. Leave a runner. I've basically taken 45 points in this area already. Right? So having a stop below my break-even point is perfectly fine here. Is there criteria you have for executing bounces or rejections of those buy sell deltas, or are you mostly looking at the DOM and how the action is leading up to it? So, the only time I really care about them, Clubhouse, is after we get stacked POCs like this. This is just balance to me, and I don't execute in this. What I'm looking for is an extreme, someone to be trapped into a low, and then a secondary move to play off of. That then has the willing, like we need someone to be trapped to break out, right? Like that's usually my criteria. So what we did is we had a balance area above. We had a liquidity grab into our value, right? Into here, trapping sellers into these lows. We can see this by all of these selling deltas, right? So there's someone very trapped here. Passive buyers were able to absorb these market sells and we were able to rotate back up. What I look for after we have a trapped seller is a bid and hold above our POC from that previous candle. Because now we have a buyer who's active. So we have passive buyers here
We're
in
in
the
10 minutes
lows.
time now at the top of the hour.
Okay.
The US is due to sell
I'm
$70
gonna let this
billion
guy talk.
in 5-year notes. So the prior bid to cover was 2.4, and the prior high yield was 4.121%. So Treasury's early price action mostly following wider moves across the bunds, which continue to outperform over the US morning session. Yields on US notes are marginally cheaper across the curve, although remain within touching distance of yesterday's closing levels ahead of this 5-year note sale. So, given the recent decline in yields and fair valuations, JP Morgan strategists see the auction as needing a modest concession from yesterday's closing levels in order to be digested smoothly. I'll also make note of the latest CFTC positioning data, which shows that speculators were net short 1.7 million 5-year note futures, biggest on record and a possible source of covering demand at the auction.
You see how these two areas have something in common, Club? So we have trapped sellers that we spotted on both of these into a buy level that we care about. So it's like we looked at the secondary move where we're now able to hold POC after we've noticed trap sellers because this is passive buying liquidity. Now we have active buying liquidity. So this is that secondary move that I was talking about. So same thing here. I don't trade chop when we have POCs that are overlapping like this. I avoid it. I'm looking for a pullback back down to value. So again, we have passive buying liquidity, market sellers stepping in to push into it, and then we have someone who's trapped because passive buyers were able to hold this level. I then look at for our retest of this candle to see if we're going to hold POC. So secondary move is active buyers rotating us back up. You see how there's a difference between like chop like this and someone who's actively trapped, and then we can look for real buyers to step in for rotations up for actual moves. So that's my usual setup, to be honest. And like this is why I should have had my stop below 84s instead of just 89s because like we held value. But it's fine because what happened is I just stopped out here from buying here, right? And then I've gotten back in here because we have active buyers participating and we're holding our POC, right? So I have taken profit off into 33s from this hold, capturing 45 points on average from 3 contracts. I then moved my stop down to 11s because I knew that there was a likelihood we retraced to POC. And now I'm just in a freak trade that's rotating up because we have trend, right? We have established a new trend. That makes sense of why like I handled this the way I did. Right? And I just have this one contract left now with us holding our average. And we see if we can get over 55s. If we do, then we go to 84 to 88, you know? So it makes for a really great risk off here into 55s. Move your stops up, chill. life is so much simpler when you just wait for actual
Target
trend.
filled.
I'm closing out a position there into 55. Hmm. All right. I don't really want to stay here the whole day, guys. What do I do? Like another hour with you? Is that cool? I don't know. Kind of done. Are we good? Like, do I need to stay longer? What's the general vibe in here? I'll stay longer if we need. I mean, it looks like we're just starting an uptrend, so
Target filled.
and like write it out if you need to, but
So just
like
less than 5 minutes away now
not
from the top of the
dress it
hour, with
up.
the
Like
US is
there's
due to sell
always another
$70
trade.
billion in 5-year notes, prior bid to cover of 2 spot 4, prior high yield of 4.121%.
Can I leave my charts on? You have my charts, Wise. You needed it on stream for some reason compared to just like the link. Cass has it. You touch something and you mess it up. Yeah, I mean, I'll hang out for a bit. There's nothing. I'm probably done trading though, but I can just hang out. It's no big deal. We'll see if we get anything else. We are back to our pivot here on Russell at our value. Just like last time, we're looking to see if ETH low will hold as supportive. If it doesn't, then we lose some momentum here. It's crazy how little options premium moved on this move. Options are so stuffed in NVIDIA ER. Like, it is absurd. It didn't. Like, they're like not moving. It sucks. Because when we were into that low where I thought we would potentially hold, I bought a few lottos before I actually took a futures trade, and like they just haven't moved. Like I'm just like break even. It's just not even worth. I'm
Shortly
just gonna
expecting
close
the
them.
results of the US 5-year note auction. The pre-sale when issued yield
These
comes at
are
the top of the hour. Auction
gross.
results follow a couple of minutes after this.
Nvidia cannot report any sooner. This is ridiculous. I don't know, man. I always get worried when people are overly bullish. But I mean, if they're going to be overly bullish on anything, I feel like Nvidia is not a bad name. I just don't know how many more times it can do this. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this trade is like baked in now, but
When issued 5-year
we'll
yield
see, man. I don't have a good
3.642% ahead of
idea.
the auction. So again, the Treasury when issued 5-year yield 3.642 ahead of the $70 billion auction.
I'll have to let me go look at what Nvidia has pulled back to into ER. That really depends. If it did a decent pullback, I might just be setting up for it. See, like we're still just ranging here. This buy is still a buy. Our value lows. This previous range. So I think it can really go either way. Like we're literally in the middle of the box. I don't know. This name is so overly inflated. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab some water. Watch our reaction into Russell ETH low as offer.
Two spot 41, 2 spot 41, high yield 3.645%, 3.645%. The US sells $70 billion in 5-year notes and awards 21.29% of bids at high. Primary dealers take 13.17%, direct 16.29%, and indirect 70.54%.
Grabbing water, we dump. It's only the bathroom. Bathroom is your cell signal. Yeah, that's a Maldito classic. I don't know if there's anything. Just thirsty, man. Are you playing that one new game, Wukong? Is that what you're talking about? Nah, Mario is though. I've been playing a lot of Deadlock lately. Valve's new game. I don't have the attention span for single player games. I wish I did. I used to really enjoy them. Yeah, I really like it. I'm a huge fan of MOBAs though. Um, they're definitely not for everyone, but it's like the perfect speed and like time for me to get what I want out of a video. My games usually last like 30 minutes, and then I have the ability to either stop playing or continue playing, and then it's like another 30-minute period instead of like being locked into something for 5 hours at a time. Yeah, the Destiny 2 raids are too long for me. And like
5-year US
half
Treasury
of it is
yields
like
move
solving some
higher
like
after $70
mind-numbing
billion
puzzle.
auction, last up 0.8 basis points to 3.665%.
I don't know. Not for me anymore. Yeah, it's a good. I think that's a good way to look at it, Bruce. It's like a mix between Overwatch and League. Yeah. What's interesting about Deadlock that I enjoy quite a bit is that every single character is able to carry. There's no like defined role. Like there are some abilities that are very clearly like support or like attack damage carry, but like every single character I've seen carry a game in every game that I've played, like a support character or a tank or just give them. There's always someone who does something that can completely change the game. I really enjoy that compared to other MOBAs, where like if you're on like a healer, you're just useless if someone else isn't fed. I think that's like a very interesting concept. That's kind of refreshing compared to other MOBAs. I don't know if that's going to change as like it's only an alpha, but so far, very cool. Dude, premiums are getting destroyed. Holy. I gonna play Space Marine too? I probably, yeah. I don't like that it's only 3-man squads though. That's really annoying. But I get it because they're so OP. But I like to be able to play with like my full group of friends, not just like having to like 2 other people and then like switch off. Also, why I don't like Destiny. It's like unless you're doing a raid, most content is locked into like a really small party. Like, there's nothing worse when we're trying to play Destiny and it's 3-man squads and we're 4 or 5 people. It's like okay, well, what do we do? I guess someone go does something else. How they're moving the market right now is, in my opinion, specifically to destroy premiums on options. This is gross. $50 until new 15s. It's back down to bottom of range here. Watching to see if ES can hold this like 6010, or sorry, 610. Just this LVN that we've created, filling structure. Watching to see if we can hold our halfway back. Russell leading down off of the rejection of our ETH low. And just filling some of this poor structure. New 15s have now opened.
Shortly expecting the results of the Fed reverse repo operation.
I think we go to 40s here, or 400 here. We'll see. Just filled this by liquidity. I'll watch for a reoffer into 34 if this isn't going to hold. All we've done is come back down to these buying deltas. Now watching an offer into this edge if we're going to get one more leg down like this, or if this is just going to, and then we rotate back through for a new high. Later, Cass. Again, I think they're just destroying premiums. That's all they're doing. Just watching our 34 test on NQ. Yeah, my internet just went out for a second. Watching this 30 area dubs to see if
74
offer holds.
counterparties take $388.89 billion at the reverse repo operation.
It's about that time of the day where my internet starts giving out. I don't know if you're gonna get another good trade until like another hour or so. Might just rotate this range again. Again, I think they're just killing premiums. Yo, I'm so glad I stayed for another hour. Thank you, Dubs. Actually, a waste of time. Afternoons are so garbage, man. Who trades this? Chill out? Hello? I know, man. Every time. About to start streaming Deadlock instead. Like, this is what we want to see on the video. After ER. Surely that play. We killed premiums enough for us to move again? Hell yeah. Need to get over 45s for anything more. ETH low on Russell is our hard pivot. We've now filled this stack and balance on footprint from sell side. Holy moly. All right. I think I'm gonna go. This is uh if I see something, I'll say something. But it just looks like we're gonna balance here for a bit. Watch for steeper pullbacks down into like 400, 395 on NQ if this 20 doesn't hold. But other than that, it just kind of looks like chop to me. There's potential for a 3 bar to kind of set up here if sellers are going to still maintain this, where we have this auction here and we're going to break and push down. And then from here, we can figure out where we want to go. Right. But I don't really want to sit here. So, yep. Uh, yeah, if something happens, I'll leave TradingView open, and if I see anything worthwhile, I'll say something. But other than that, I'm going to close YouTube stream. All right, we'll talk to you guys later.